how's it going? I know it's been a little while since I put out a video, and that's because I've been extremely busy. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, extremely busy. Tonight got to finish up some of the box extras from the Outside of the Dark Depths crew. So these are models that didn't come in the starter box, but were also part of the Gen Con pre-release. So I've got 3 of the depleted models here. There's that guy. And then I've got Tannen, and I've got Graves. So while we're having a look at these models, and I'm probably banging them up because just moving them around while they're still wet, let's give some brief updates. The main thing that's going to happen a week from tomorrow, or Friday the 21st, this is going to be SoCal Smackdown. And for those of you who don't know, SoCal Smackdown is the birthplace of our club, SoCal Malifaux. So for us, this is a bit of a homecoming. We get a little sentimental when we talk about this. I've been plugging this quite a bit locally, trying to get as many of our members to go. I hope you can make it out there, because the Malifaux stuff that we have planned over the weekend is going to be insane. And you know, it's going to be a great, we think it's going to be a great reunion for our club and for all the folks that have joined us and supported us over the past year. So, highly recommend attending SoCal Smackdown again, Friday, September 21st through the 23rd. This is at the Anaheim Convention Center, at the in the heart of Anaheim, right next to the Anaheim Hilton, and you can reserve your tickets and register online at SoCalSmackdown.com. That's the main thing. So we've been really gearing up and getting ready for this big show. This is probably our last large convention for the year. We may do maybe 1 or 2 smaller conventions before the year is up, but it's nice to have a break from that. We'll be back in the stores. There's still a lot of activity going on with the club. We're nearing 200 members, so that's good news also. On the YouTube front, nearing 250 members here. So thanks again for all your support there. So that's the update for now. Now, I finished all of the Gen Con pre-release stuff except for the Mizaki crew, the 10 Thunders, and that set. That set still hasn't arrived, and I will be painting that as soon as that gets here. I know you missed all that stuff because I've been busy painting it and not really recording it. If you want to see it, well, guess what? You can see all that stuff at SmackDown, or you can see at least see my rail crew on WG Consortium's latest video on Henchmen. That's myself and Heretic of You kind of just doing some skits for Chung while we ran a tournament up there at the Game Ogre in Northridge. So anyway, let's get on to explaining this game that I'm about to explain. Faux Gupps Frogger. What is that exactly? This is a mini game that we've designed for SoCal Smackdown. Designed for just kind of a fun, relaxed setting. This is not a competitive game. It's really just fun with the miniatures and hanging out. It's scheduled in the middle of the afternoon, Saturday at 3. So if you're taking a break from your tournaments or you're gearing up for one of the evening tournaments, this is ideal for you. You might also want to play in Bakersfield Malifaux's Masters Challenge right before that. So his challenge starts at noon. I believe we're on at 3, and then later that night we would have our team tournament. So I'm going to explain this very strange game to you. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Okay, so here we are with Faux Gupps Frogger. Again, this is a mini game to be played at SoCal Smackdown. So what you need is a game board like this. It's got 8 lanes of traffic, a safe zone in the middle. You need at least 7 pieces of traffic, which we're going to deploy in a minute here. And you're going to need 2 teams of 2 Gupps. So this is the 6-player mode. 2 players control Gupps, and for example, those 2 Gupps and this area of traffic, and the other team would control these 2 Gupps and that area of traffic. Now, for game setup, the two teams of Gupps end up, they start on opposite sides, and the goal is to get the Gupps over to the opposite side of the board while avoiding traffic. So that's very much like Frogger. And we're going to talk about setup. So, like I said, two bases of Gupps on each side. We're going to take one deck. So one fate deck controls the fate for all 6 players. We remove the 13s, put those in a pile, and we remove all of the aces from the deck that we're playing from. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to randomly shuffle up the aces, and then I'm going to play the aces like this. 3 and 4. And then I'll do the same. So I have the aces kind of deciding the lane and the direction on the 4 lanes up top. And we're going to do the same for the 13s. So just alternate them and lay them out like that. Now once this is done, you don't need to change them again. You just, this is providing the direction and randomization that you need for the game. Now once that is set, the traffic players are going to take turns deploying traffic. So how do you deploy traffic? You're going to take one card, play it off the top of the deck. So I've got an 11 crow here. So if I'm above 7, and if I'm at 7 and above, I'm going to use the 13 side, and the crow lane is this way. The card is going to tell me what direction they're moving. So I would go start from this edge here, measure 11 inches out, place one piece of traffic there. We'll do it again for another piece of traffic. Now this is a 2 crow. So again, this is the lower side of the crow, and now we are moving 2 inches this way. I'm sorry, 2 inches this way. We're going to keep going until we have 6 pieces of traffic. So I'm going to do this real quick. Okay, so here's the traffic as deployed. Deployed 6 pieces of traffic, and I have 1 piece off the board. At this point, we are ready to go and deal out our control hands. Now, each team of players is going to receive 3 cards that they may use to cheat with. So I'll just deal out 3 for myself and pretend that I'm playing. And you may only cheat, each team may only cheat once per turn. So here's my hand. So that means if I have 2 players controlling Gupps and 1 player controlling traffic, the players have to decide if on that turn whether or not the Gupps are going to cheat or if the traffic player is going to cheat. So bear that in mind when you're playing. Now, automatically on each turn, the Gupps players get to go first. So the players are going to flip off the cards between the team of Gupps there and let's say my team of Gupps right here. Let's just say that I won that flip, so I'm going to get to go first. Now, the main thing Gupps do each turn is they attempt to leap. Now, to leap, you need a 6 or higher. So I flip a 6, and importantly, I flip a 6 mask. I actually didn't do that on purpose, but it's exactly what I wanted to show. So normally a 6 would get you across 1 lane of traffic, or if you're in a lane of traffic, you can move up to 5 inches laterally, or you can do a 3-inch kind of diagonal move like that into the next lane. However, I have a mask, and this works sort of like leap. So what I can do instead is I can now leap 2 lanes of traffic, or I can leap 10 inches across. I can even leap over traffic as long as I don't land on them. Or I can leap in a 5-inch diagonal pattern like that across 2 lanes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. At this point, it's the traffic player's turn. So the traffic player on the opposite end of the team is going to play, and he will flip a card, and he gets a 2 ram. So he can pick any of the ram lanes. So there's a ram lane there with no car in it. Oh, a lot to show you here. There's a ram lane here with no car in it, and then there is a ram lane here with 2 cars in it. And so you move towards the direction of where the card is. So I'm going to move, I have the option of either placing the 7th piece of traffic in that lane 2 inches in, so it would be, say, there, or I can play one of the other cars in, and I can move, let's say, this car. I'll move this 2 inches that way. Now, direction is important, because if you actually surpass the length, the edge length of the board, you make up the distance along the same lane going across. So you actually just kind of loop all the way around. So that is the traffic player's turn. Then it goes back to, it would go to this team of Gupps. They flip a card. They flip a 10 ram, so they can leap 1 lane. Let's go ahead and do that. And now the opposite traffic player goes. They're going to flip a 2 book. So now they have an option. They can place the 7th piece of traffic there and try to hit the frogs on the other side, or they can place the 7th piece of traffic down here, or they can cheat. So there's a number of different things that can happen. A couple of other things to note is this goes back and forth. So this Gupps will end up doing, or 3 attempts to leap per se, as with the other Gupps. So will those 2 Gupps. And the traffic players will move in between. Once all the Gupps have moved, the traffic players each go one more turn, and then you shuffle and go again. So that's the basics of this. There are instances where, you know, you're going to get hit by a piece of traffic and casualties, so you will lose the Gupps from your base. And then on the following turn, you would only get to leap or make 2 attempts for leaping and so forth. Those action points used for leaping can also be used in combat. So one thing you might do is, let's say the opponent here made it to the safe zone, and so did you. On one of your activations, you can attack the opponent, and it would be exactly like, well, not exactly, but virtually the same duel that you would see in Malifaux. CB versus defense. You are allowed to cheat once. Again, that's per your team. And if you do successfully land a hit, that will result in a casualty. Gupps can leap out of combat freely. This is supposed to be a pretty quick moving game. Really, there's only 2 decision points: where to move your traffic, and then to leap and or attack. But the other thing to consider is your activations are 1 action at a time. So one team does 1 action, the other team does 1 action, and that's how it goes. So anyways, that's the bare bones basics of Faux Gupps Frogger. It's designed to play very quick, very fast. I really won't make any comments about balance or anything like that, because this is not the type of game you're playing for balance. This is really just one of those funny middle of the afternoon games, and you just want to move some Gupps around and watch frogs go splat, or I'm sorry, fishmen go splat as they're trying to cross the street. So anyway, that's the basics of Faux Gupps Frogger, and we'll catch you later.